Hello everyone, welcome back to Believers Science Academy, Bengaluru. This is the Hindu News Analysis. In this session, we'll be discussing important articles from UPSC prelims, mains as well as interview perspective. So, the first article for 30th July 2025 is from the Hindu, that is Bihar's dark side, the hub of girl child trafficking. It talks about certain core issues like why trafficking is happening in Bihar and what are the reasons behind this trafficking and how you should address it. So very important and very important data points also given which you can use in your mains answer. So hundreds of minor girls, some as young as 12, are trafficked into orchestra groups and flesh trade in Bihar. Very inhumane in the nature. Minor girls are being trafficked to work in orchestra. The orchestra industry in Bihar, like for their Dehati music, is very famous, where they are made to dance in front of men, where they are used as a things of entertainment rather than considering them as a persons. Next, girls are lured with false promises of employment, love, and dance training. Later, they are subjected to rape, abuse, and captivity. This is the gravity of the situation. 271 girls were rescued in 2025, that is just in 6 months between January and June. Saran district alone saw 162 rescues. You can just imagine if this is the number of people that have been rescued, imagine the number of people that have yet to be captivated, that are yet captivated and that to be rescued. Okay, so that is going to be many times fold or many folds larger than this. So why Bihar? Why does this happen in Bihar? There are both internal as well as external reasons. In external reasons, it is mainly because of the porous Nepal border, where it is easier to traffic girls from the Bihar to the Nepal. And next is a strong rail links to trafficking prone states such as West Bengal, Jharkhand and Odisha. And also the cultural aspirations in states like West Bengal are exploited. Meaning the people from Bihar in search of their work, in search of better livelihood, try to go to different states where there are more opportunities. One such state in the region is West Bengal. So they go for a better lifetime or better living standards, but instead they get exploited. So it goes from a dream to a nightmare. Dream to a nightmare. Next, orchestra hubs like Saran, Gopalganj, West Champaran act as a trafficking epicenters. So this is why it is rampant in Bihar. And also along with there are systematic failures like laws such as POXO, Juvenile Justice Act, ITPA exist but only as a letter but are poorly enforced. In most cases are misfiled and the conviction rate is very low. Even if you are convicted or even if the case is charged, the conviction rate is very low. Most it is happening throughout the India, but it is very high in Bihar in this case. Next, AHTUs under resource, that is AHTUs are hubs which are used used to rescue the people. They are under resourced and girls are often sent back to abusive families. See the irony here. They escape for their family because it is abusive. They escape from their family so that they can get a better living opportunities. But what is happening here is once they are rescued, they are sent back to the same region or same home. Judicial and NGO action. Just Rights for Children is an NGO which petitioned Patna High Court for a ban on minors in orchestra. And the High Court acknowledged trafficking as a serious crime and directed urgent state action. We have to see what the state government is going to do. Now, one of the policy recommendation given by the author is a very important, a very significant and an interesting strategy. That is picket strategy. This is very interesting because this picket strategy can be used for any issue in society or social issues, in GS1 and GS2. So very important. So note down this strategy. Picket. P is policy, that is enforce bans on child exploitation, that is a policy intervention. Next, I is institutions, strengthen monitoring and rehab. Next is C, that is convergence, of different agencies bringing coordination and technology conversation. Next is knowledge, that is community and survivor inputs. Next is E, that is economics, that is making trafficking unprofitable. People are indulging in trafficking because it is profitable, so you have to make it unprofitable so that no people are involving in trafficking. Next is technology. Use AI, heat maps and trafficking. Okay, so this picket strategy is going to be very important strategy for your answers in all kinds of way forward in your mains answers. Next is a very important article which is actually from yesterday's newspaper, but it is so important that I decided to do it again today. Yesterday I was not able to do it, so today is the day. Judicial pendency in India. Justice on hold. It was there in text and context, that is why I missed it. So now we will be covering it. Why in news? Important data has been given here. That is over 5 crore cases are pending in Indian courts. Structural delays, judicial vacancies, and inadequate infrastructure have led to a justice crisis. ADR mechanisms. What is ADR? ADR, that is alternate dispute resolution mechanisms like Lok Adalats, are being promoted as a viable solutions. We will see how ADR can be viable solutions in this aspect. Why is timely justice essential? Why should we focus more on justice? That is because faith in rule of law. If the justice is swift, it is going to result in enhancing public confidence. That is, fast trials enhance public confidence. Recent example was Jessica Lal case. It was taken up at a fast level, and the solution was also given in a very swift manner. Next is crime deterrence. That is, swift justice sends a clear signal. That is, fast track courts in post nearby case where the cases under POCSO were taken in urgency and they were like done away very fastly or very swiftly. And then victim relief, that is delay worsen trauma. Example 2002 riot cases. The many victims of 2002 riot cases are still waiting for the justice. So the justice delayed is obviously going to justice denied. So that is what is happening here. And next is avoid manipulation. That is delay aids evidence tampering. Example Bhopal gas tragedy. So the reasons for the pendency is vacant judgeships. The data is almost 30% of the High Court posts are vacant. Next is procedural delays. That is order 17 CPC is most often used or misused by the judges for adjournments. Then is poor infrastructure. That is lack of IT or digital tools in rural courts. And then government as a litigant. That is nearly 50% of the pending cases are the government. So this is more like crowding out effect in judiciary. Normally this crowding out effect happens in economy, but this time it is happening in judiciary. Being the government is a major stakeholder in the cases, as a result there is a less scope for people or citizens to go and avail the justice. Next is weak case management. There is no structured timelines in regular courts. As a result, the delay is happening more. And also there is a curious case about the district court civil cases. Why are they so slow? The article says that they are so slow because of repeated adjournments. For example, in UP property case, 20 plus adjournments happened in just over 5 years. Next is overloaded judges. An example is in MP, one judge was handling 2000 plus cases. And then is the delayed submissions. That is example, the municipal body in Maharashtra delayed filing for 18 months. So they are using the loopholes in the judiciary or loopholes in the Indian policing system to their advantages. Next is the article talks about ADR as an alternate solution. What is the role of ADR in reducing the backlogs? One is obviously it is going to reduce the court load. For example, TIS Hazari excuse me, TIS Hazari Mediation Center. This center is an alternative dispute resolution mechanism center which was able to dispose 2 lakh plus cases alone. Next is fast resolution. That is commercial arbitration cases are resolved within 12 to 18 months, which most of the times takes 3 to 4 years in regular courts. And cost effective. It saves both time and money for litigants. Next is the Lok Adalats, which has been a success story. And the data here is over 2.27.5 crore, not 2.27.5 crore cases have been resolved from just 2021 to March 2025. That is how they are significant. And mass disposal, that is 1 crore cases just in November 2023, National Lok Adalat alone, just in 1 month. And no appeal is equal to finality. And one of the other important chief aspect here is the Lok Adalat, in Lok Adalat, the judgment is final. There is no and it is binding, and there is no appeal about Lok Adalats. Lok Adalat awards are binding, and there is no appeal available. Next, handles pre-litigation cases. That is, even before the litigation starts, these cases are handled by Lok Adalats. Prevents new cases from entering courts. So the comparative analysis of ADR and Lok Adalats. So scope is, in ADR it is broad. It includes arbitration, mediation, and conciliation. However, in Lok Adalat, the specific ADR under LSA Act, National Legal Service Authority Act of 1987. There are certain provisions which are provided under LSA Act. It is bound by these acts, these provisions only. And the binding nature, among the three, that is arbitration, mediation, conciliation, only arbitration is binding, whereas mediation or conciliation may not be binding. However, in a Lok Adalat, it is binding, similar to a court decree. And formality and cost can involve fees and formal fees, whereas it is informal and free of cost. Next is case types. It mainly focuses on civil and commercial, whereas Lok Adalat not only civil but also compoundable criminal offences. Okay. Next, so the author provides certain way forward in order to address this. One is obviously strengthening the judicial capacity, that is filling the vacancies, upgrading the court infrastructure. Next is expanding the ADR ecosystem, promoting mediation, conciliation, arbitration across many sectors, and then boosting legal literacy, not just any kind of literacy, legal literacy, so that there is more awareness generated with respect to ADR and Lok Adalats. And leverage technology, that is introduce e-Lok Adalats, online dispute resolution platforms, etc. Then is case management tools, enforce structured timelines and digital cost list, so that the cases can be fast forwarded and the solution is found at the earlier stage. The third article is the state of food and nutrition in the world. Again, a heavy data rich article. So it is in news because the 2025 edition of the state of food security and nutrition for the world report was released, and it highlights persisting and alarming level of malnutrition in India despite economic growth and numerous welfare schemes. So we will see, first we will see about what is SFOI report. It is state of food security and nutrition in the world. Started in 1999. It is published by combination of FAO, IFAD, UNICEF, WFP, and WHO. All these organizations or institutions are involved in producing this data. The purpose is track global hunger, food security, nutrition trends, and also it supports monitoring of Sustainable Development Goal 2, that is zero hunger. So first we will see the global highlights and the global trends. In hunger rate, very, what you can say, a good news, that the good news is it dropped from 8.5% to 8.2% in 2024. Next, in undernourished people, 735 million people in the globally are undernourished, and double burden, that is coexistence of undernutrition and rising obesity, and healthy diets increasingly unaffordable due to inflation and climate shocks. So these are the global highlights, and this is very important. The healthy diets are becoming increasingly unaffordable. Why? Majorly because of inflation and climate shocks. So this is how climate change or climate shocks are also influencing your diets. In India, specific findings in wasting, that is 5 under, that is children below 5, 18.7%, which is highest in the global level, and it affects almost 21 plus million children. That is, it indicates acute undernutrition. What is wasting? Wasting is low weight compared to their body, compared to their age. And then is stunting. What is stunting? Low height compared to their age. Under 5, 37.4 million children, chronic malnutrition, and affects physical and cognitive growth. Next is overweight children, 4.2 million, which has increased from 2 million in 2012. Rise in childhood obesity signals poor diet diversity. See, this is the end of a same pole. If this is a pole, at one end it is the undernutrition or malnutrition, which is mainly because of the lack of food availability or food security, and second is, the other is obesity. Here the food is available, the diet is not diverse. India is facing both this obesity as well as undernourishment. Next is anemia in women between 15 to 14 years of age. It is around 53.7%. That is 203 million women in India are affected by anemia. Why is it very significant? It signifies the poor iron intake and impacts maternal health and productivity. So it is a vicious cycle. If the mother is anemic, the child that is going to be born is going to be undernourished, which will may lead to stunting or wasting. And then undernourished population at the overall 172 million, that is 12% of the population is undernourished, which shows widespread food insecurity. Next is unaffordable healthy diet, that is 42.9% of the population cannot afford healthy diet because the cost has rose from $2.77 from 2017 to $4.07 in 2024. This is high food prices are outpacing income growth. So there is always a gap or the lag with respect to inflation and impact like income. If this is the inflation and this is the income, there is always a lag. So it always takes time to catch up. By the time this income catches inflation, the inflation will be even higher. So there is again a gap. This is what happens in most of the times. Next, adult obesity, that is 71.4 million and doubled in 10 years. It indicates lifestyle and dietary imbalances. Okay. Next, fourth article for the day is adopt formalization to power productivity growth. Okay, this article has certain very important topics or very important points, so it is better for us to cover this in the topic of the day. I'll be covering this article in the topic of the day or any other shorts. So it has very high data rich, which basically talks about what is the significance of formalization to productivity growth. Okay, we'll discuss in topic of the day. Next, moving on to prelims pointers. So the first point or the first article for the prelims pointer is Gini coefficient index or the Gini coefficient. So it is in news for various reasons. Recently, there was a World Bank report which said that India is fourth most equal country in the world. Fourth most equal country in the world. Based on what? Based on the Gini coefficient. Based on Gini coefficient. As a result, this has become a point of contention, and this has been a point of debate in the parliament. So obviously the government or the ruling party is going to boast about their benefits. As a result, we are the fourth equal country, whereas the opposition are ridiculing this claim that India cannot be fourth most equal country, and they ridicule the fact that Gini coefficient has been misused. So we already discussed about the issue before. Now we'll just discuss about Gini index. What is Gini index? It is measure of income or wealth inequality within a nation. It scales from 0 to 1, or in terms of percentage, it scales from 0 to 100%. If 0 means perfect equality, 1 means perfect inequality. That is, only one person has all the income. This is like this. So if this is the graph, this is 0 and this is 1. Complete inequality, and this is complete equality. No country in the world stands between either 1 or 0. Most of the countries or all the countries stands in this gray zone. Okay, so this Gini coefficient was developed by Italian statistician that is Corrado Gini. So in remembrance of his name, it has been named as Gini coefficient. Published by, often reported by institutions like World Bank, UNDP and OECD. In India, the Gini coefficient has been increasing, but the recent report of World Bank shows that the Gini coefficient is on the low. It is used in reports like Human Development Report, World Inequality Report, and World Bank's World Development Indicators. Okay. Next, Baitarani River. Why it is in news? Recently, there was a large rainfall. As a result, it started overflowing over the dam, and it resulted in the flooding of Odisha region. So that is why we are covering this news. Location: it flows primarily through Odisha and partially through Jharkhand. It is a east flowing river, part of Baitarani Brahmani Mahanadi Delta system. If it is east flowing, obviously it drains into Bay of Bengal. Next, the origin and the cause. It originates at Gonasika Hills in Keonjhar district of Odisha. It initially flows underground. As a result, it is called as Gupta Ganga, which is a sacred site and a tourist site. Then it changes direction from northward to eastward. It forms part of Odisha Jharkhand boundary. Here, Odisha Jharkhand boundary. Next is forms part of Odisha Jharkhand boundary, and the length is around 360 kilometers, and it empties into Bay of Bengal. Okay. Next, basin details. The total basin area is about 12,790 square kilometers. It is bounded by Brahmani Basin, Subarnarekha Basin, and Borabalang River and Bay of Bengal. Tributaries, a total of 65 tributaries are there, with 35 left bank, 30 are right bank. And major ones are Salandi, Kausai, Dio, Gahira, Kalanchari, Musal, and Rimal. Next, the last article for the day is marbled cat. Recently, this marbled cat was photographed in Assam. As a result, it is in news. So it is normally not available for photographing because it is very elusive and it is nocturnal in nature. But a recent photography of this marbled cat shows its significance. So that is why I taken this news. Scientific name of marbled cat is Pardofelis marmorata, and family, it belongs to Felidae family, that is small wild cat. A resemblance looks like a miniature clouded leopard. If you see clouded leopard, which is mainly found in the Meghalaya, which is also called as state animal of Meghalaya, just search it up and search this image. They look very similar, just the difference is the clouded leopard is very big in nature and this cat is very small. Recent news, that is the first ever photograph was captured in Kakoi Reserve, Assam, which is a significant wildlife documentation of for Northeast India. Distribution, it is found in South and Southeast Asia, majorly in Nepal, Myanmar, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Malaysia, Sumatra, Borneo, and in India, northeastern states. In India, mainly found in the forest of northeast. Habitat ranges from sea level to 3000 meter elevation. It is found in evergreen, deciduous, secondary forest, logged forest, and rocky scrub. Okay, so diverse habitat. Features, it is 45 to 60 centimeter in the length, and the tail is equally long as body. The coat is brownish yellow with marbled blotches and black outlines, which are shown in the figure. Behavior, it is nocturnal. What is nocturnal? That is more active in the night. And solitary, what is solitary? Which likes to stay alone, similar to tiger. And excellent climber and feeds on the birds and small animals. Conservation status, it is near threatened according to IUCN Red List, and the threats to this is obviously habitat loss, deforestation, and hunting, mainly for the hide of this animal or the skin of this animal. So these are the articles which I want to discuss with you today. I will cover this formalization and the impact of productivity in another topic of the day video. And also we are bringing a new series which is going to be very important from this year's mains. We will be covering all the important data, reports, case studies, government schemes, and everything in between, which can be used in your mains, which is going to help you fetch those 20-30 extra marks, which is going to bring a difference between your chances of interview or your chance in the cadre. So that is why we are going to bring a new series. So do follow our channel and subscribe to the channel, and also click on the bell icon so that you don't miss a notification on this. With this, I will end the video. Jai Hind.